the ground. Oh, that was nasty. I just took some of the sausage that I had today. Much information noted. Duly noted. Um, we have Gina having a fear of businessmen, and she goes in into a business suit, and it works. So, not super interesting, but kind of cool. Now, nice. Scully goes in, and he's talking about how he is working for mafia, but he's also working for the Buyers Dallas Club, which is a movie about AIDS, which is, to me, it's super fucking funny. However, the boys goes to help him, and they have a Western accent. Everybody is in trouble, but they um, they work their way through. Hitchcock sweats like a madman. He sweat. I didn't know people could sweat as much as he does, but in the sweat championship, Hitchcock is my champion. Um, Scully is a master at moving a seat, so he able to get a seat up the stairs. Now, of course, they don't show it, which is kind of funny because why show it? But he does the job. Old feels bad, so he invites some of Charles' favorite musicians. They're also thief because they're also broke. Hitchcock sweats so much that he's able to free himself from gorilla tape, which is super funny. And we got Rosa who has her blood drained. And that is pretty much it. Terry feels great for Hitchcock and Scully, and he gives them Terry gives them chairs because they did a good job with dessert. Super cool. Episode season 3, episode 17, Adrian Pimanto. Adrian Pimanto is the first member to join the 99 in such a long time. And I like him. I like him. So he goes into the precinct and right away kidnaps Jake. But then Olta says he was undercover for 14 years, so he's still a bit lost. It is direct attraction between him and Rosa, which is gonna be one of his main track. Pimanto is a good character, but he's not the best. He's funny because he's insane. So he talks about his story and how he talks about a story about how it was to be a hitman for one of the most dangerous criminals in Brooklyn, which is kind of funny because he said that he's used blood to agitate his eyes. Jake says, talks to Old and says, listen, I want him to be comfortable. Put him with me for a couple minutes. Put it with me for a couple of days. I was undercover with the mafia. So this is cool because this is, again, almost 2 seasons ago. So it's something that we know happened, but it's something that's been a while. So you're not always beating a dead horse. I think that's the expression, right? I think that's the expression. Charles figured out the best way to make Memento feel welcome, so he cooked a stew from his own country, and he had the special pot imported. But then the pot exploded. Funny thing is, because he got a special pot imported, he is now on home security top list. So I thought this was funny. I thought this was really funny. Oh, my apologies. There's a big mess. So we meet Marge, Mean Marge, which is in charge. My apologies of the cleaning around here, but this is narrated from The Office. So far, we had Elton Helms, we had Judge Judy, we had Mean Marge, we had another one, Oscar. We're missing a bunch of people, but not that much, not that many. Not that many. We have a pretty good cast of The Office in there. So me and Marge is like, yo, you don't respect us. You think you're so much better than us. Why should we help you? Which is kind of cool. Jake goes in and he becomes friends with Pimento, which is super cool. I would the episode is about him thinking that he turned. Bro is super attracted to Adrian. It's funny. Jake thinks that Pimento turned, which means that he's part of the mafia because he's acting super weird. Like doing some Tai Chi in his underwear, which I don't think is that weird. Marge doesn't do the dishes, doesn't do the garbage. So you see right away that the precinct is a complete fucking mess, which I think is kind of funny. We got a guy that was stolen. Something was stolen from him, right? And the thing that was stolen from him was, I don't remember what it was. This guy sells burner phone. and Pimento is really interested in buying a couple. So Jake is like, why do you need to buy burner phones? Which again is kind of a it's kind of the mentality of being undercover so much. The problem with Pimento is we don't know if he's a good cop or not. We don't know if he went too far to come back or not, which is something that we see quite often, to be honest. Water. Nadrovia. I love having the Russian accent. Gina organized a movie to ask for help to clean. She uses Amy and she uses Rosa and Alt. Is that because she makes a documentary? Because Alt saw that she had some experience with a camera, which I think is a porn tape, but I'm not sure. But if it is a porn tape, hit me up with the links. I would love to do some research on that for Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's kind of funny. Jake asked Rosa for help because she trusts him. But the funniest thing is that Rosa still said like, "Oh, he's fucking hot." And this is cool because Rosa only had a trust for 3 people: Marcus, the Vulture, and Pimento. Pimento and the Vulture are douchebags, so kind of cool, kind of funny. Marge comes in and she says, "No. We have a union here. We'll clean it when we say we clean it." So she brings even more garbage, which is kind of funny. Jake goes in. The guy he goes to follow Pimento because he took a duffel bag from different stuff, and he's acting very very suspicious, which is super funny, and ends up being not Pimento in the apartment, but somebody that knew that Jake was gonna set it up. So he tricked Jake into doing the bad job for him, and suck on it, Jake. Pimento was better cops here, and I'm sorry to say that I love you, Jake. You know I do, but you weren't a good friend right here. You weren't a good friend right here. I'm sorry to say. Now checking out if we have 7:47. We still haven't finished uploading. This is insane. I'm nervous. I'm nervous. We have this scene, which is kind of cool because we got this guy, Alt, who's an actor. It's not really Alt. And he says that, and we have Rosa on a wheelchair, which is the magic of television, she'll walk again. And the funny thing with the actor for Alt is he creates a backstory where Alt is popping pills, addicted to pills. Pimento points a gun at Jake and said, "Why can you trust me?" And he proved that he wasn't dirty. Which kind of sucks. Kind of really sucks. So Pimento goes back to bagging back because he said that the police life is too much for him. This is the only other job that he had. But Jake tells him, "Listen, I'm gonna arrest this guy, and if you want to be there, you can be there." So this is kind of super nice. Gina ends up making a very good documentary, which wins the heart of 1,000 Americans. Mean Marge, as a story, gets the break room called after her. So the break room now has her name, which is enough to buy her. And the cleaning crew actually pulled through. We have Pimento, who saw that Jake was a good guy and he decided to go about it. You know? They decided to follow him. We got season 3, episode 18, Cheddar. So Cheddar is a very special character. Whatchamacallit? It is the pet of Alt and Kevin, my dear little Kevin. So then, it's actually a really cool scene. Okay, so Jake's uncle died and he left him some things, which is possibly a fortune. So Jake's like, "Yo, don't worry about it. I don't forget you guys. Everybody's gonna get something." So the funny thing is, he has shares, 11,000 shares for which company? Oh yeah, Blockbuster. Yeah, which has no fucking values. I thought this was funny. This is funny. Okay, next on the list. Mapping. So how do I just make
final thing for your face before the LASIK surgery goes poorly and my eyeballs get burned off. Why stop at the eyes? Burn off your whole head. Charles.
Oh yeah, Charles is losing. He doesn't want to wear glasses anymore, so he wants to do a laser eye surgery. So he doesn't have to wear contacts and laser. I don't know if these works. If you know, hit me up. Do I have interest? No, I actually like wearing glasses. People like me with glasses, I guess. I heard one compliment 3 years ago. I guess it's still the case. There's a bit more gray, but it's the same person. Old goes in and said, you know what?
Regular dog sitter is ill and he's out of my house, so I don't think it's a good time for me to visit Kevin in Paris.
Sir, you can't just keep...
Old is nervous about going to Paris to see Kevin because there's no dog sitter for Cheddar, right? Which means that Jake will have himself volunteer to be the caretaker for Cheddar. Now the reality is Cheddar is an excuse. The real reason Old doesn't want to go to Paris is because he feels that the relationship with Kevin is in deep trouble. And because the relationship with Kevin is in deep trouble, he's afraid